What does faith do? The Bible says some pretty remarkable things about faith. It says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. There's something in us that believes that if God tells us to do something and it's possible, we'll have faith to do it. But if God tells us to do something and it's impossible, we don't have the faith because it's impossible. But that's not true. When God speaks, what he tells you to do is admittedly impossible without faith. But when you align your heart in that posture, attitude, response of faith, you become a player in the equation, changing the calculus of possible, and it becomes possible. What's the difference between magic and a miracle? Magic is a spectator sport. Miracles require relationship. Always. Elisha with the widow who was helpless. She had 2 sons. Her husband died. Her husband had debts, and he didn't have insurance to pay those debts when he died. She has nothing, and the creditors come, and they had a pretty awful solution. They said, that's okay. We'll satisfy your husband's debts by taking your sons into slavery. And she comes, and she asks the prophet, she says, please help me. They're about to take my sons into slavery. And the prophet asks her something remarkable. He says, woman, what do you have? God is always telling us that there's something we can do with what we've already got. Your servant has nothing at all. And then she uses this word, except. Oh, don't say that to God tonight. Your life may be difficult and you may feel cornered, but there's a pretty big except that can be added on to the complaint. Your servant has nothing at all, she said, except a small jar of olive oil. And Elisha said, go around and ask all of your neighbors for empty jars. Now, the woman needed money, right? So was it any less of a miracle for God to multiply the oil than to fill her pocket with money? So why does God go through all these antics? Why does she have to do all this stuff? Participation. He's not offering magic. He's seeking relationship. Go around and ask all your neighbors for empty jars. Don't ask for a few. When you're getting ready for a miracle, don't make small provision. Don't show God you think he's gonna barely do it. Make as big a provision as you can possibly handle and see if God doesn't outdo you. Go all in. Dig your ditches, get your jars, but create a place of active obedience where God can anoint it. Then he says, then go inside and shut the door behind you and your sons and pour oil into the jars. And as each is filled, put it to one side. Why? Because every time she does it, she's obeying. And every time she's obeying, she's expressing faith. And every time she's expressing faith, she's building a relationship of salvation with the God she seeks help from. Who wants to put their faith in action? Who wants to ask God, just give me something, Lord? Just show me where my empty jars are. Just show me the ditch to dig. When man tells us to do the impossible, it's to mock our weakness. But when God tells us to do the impossible, it's to give us a miracle. You come up to a man in a wheelchair and say, get up. That's not very respectful, is it? But if Jesus comes to that man and says, get up, it's pretty exciting, isn't it?